Hello, baseball lovers. My name is Manny Alcala, and I'm here with...
Julian Beck.
And this is the Manny and Beck's MLB podcast for the AOSN.com, sponsored by Custom Bobbleheads, and that's custom with a Z. Welcome to our first podcast for the AOSN.com. We are really excited to get this started. And any thoughts on that, Beck?
Please bear with us if we stutter or have any problems or have any silent seconds. Right. It's our very first one. Kind of nervous, not going to lie.
Sounds good. We'll try our best. Our five topics of the day for this podcast are the Josh Donaldson trade to the Toronto Blue Jays, the big signing of Cuban slugger Manny Tomas to the Arizona Diamondbacks, the contract signed by Kung Fu Panda Pablo Sandoval and Hanley Ramirez to the Red Sox, the trade rumors surrounding Jeff Samardzija and who do we think he will go to, and our predictions on who's going to be next to sign a big free agent contract. So those are our topics of the day. Let's get started with Josh Donaldson. Beck, how do you like this trade for the Toronto Blue Jays?
For the Blue Jays, this is a steal. The hot stove was starting off really slow, but thanks to Black Friday, the A's and Blue Jays made a big blockbuster trade. Wouldn't quite call it a blockbuster trade since the Blue Jays got the best end of it. They got one of the top all-around third baseman in the whole MLB in Josh Donaldson. And they traded him for Brett Lowry, who's always on the DL, but he's at a young age of 23, I believe. 24. Sorry. They also got three prospects in return, 2 pitchers and 1 shortstop. I mean, Billy Beane has done some crazy things before, but in Billy Beane they trust, I guess.
Okay, so Brett Lowry comes in return to Oakland. We can consider him a rising star. His stats aren't as good or near Josh Donaldson's. 247 batting average, 12 home runs, 38 RBIs, and only 70 games from 2014. So you can see Beck's point. He's missed some games. While Donaldson is one of the premier third basemen in the game, All-Star last season, 29 home runs, 98 RBIs. Average still a little low, but passable, and a 255 batting average. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the prospects. I think it's a case where that's going to be the difference maker, because they get 3 prospects, and Lowry, of course, but Donaldson just makes that Toronto Blue Jays lineup just scary. Yep. Speak to us about that middle of the lineup for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, from what I've heard, they have Jose Reyes leading off, Russell Martin in the 2-hole. They have Jose Bautista hitting the 3, then Donaldson batting cleanup, and Encarnacion in the 5-hole. I don't know. That sounds scary to me.
Yeah, very good. That's a really good lineup. And who knows? They might not be finished yet this offseason. They might add somebody else, or maybe add some pitching. Add some pitching to have some depth in that rotation as well. All right, moving on. Cuban slugger Manny Tomas, a 6-year deal worth $68.5 million. What are your thoughts on that?
That was a shocker. Diamondbacks came out of nowhere. They got the hot commodity in Tomas. Is that how you say it?
Tomas,
They got him, and pretty much after this hot stove's going to start going after that now for the right-handed sluggers. Nelson Cruz should be next, and Justin Upton should be traded right after.
Now, I have heard that Tomas' ceiling is kind of like a Justin Upton ceiling. Very similar swing, very similar strikeout rate. Coming from Cuba, will that have any impact to his playing in the major leagues? Do you think pitchers will be able to adjust easily to him?
I think so. They'll throw more breaking balls to him than he would expect, thanks to Jose Abreu and Cespedes. A lot of the fans and teammates even were going to expect high numbers, since those guys have killed it since being signed by other teams.
Yeah, and we've seen a larger wave of Cuban players, like you said, Cespedes, Puig, Aroldis Chapman, all coming from Cuba. and pretty much very, very reliable baseball players. They've been able to contribute. I think Tomas is no exception. He'll probably do well early in the season as pitchers aren't going to know what to expect from him.
They'll plug him right into left field.
Exactly.
He'll be most likely the 4 hitter right after Goldschmidt, which Goldschmidt's going to love. Now he has protection.
And Mark Trumbull as well.
Yeah, you never know with Trumbull, though.
Yeah, you don't know with Trumbull. He provides good power, but...
He started off hot last season, got hurt, and then started off slow coming back, but then he started heating up a little bit towards the end. But if he can stay consistent, then...
Consistent and healthy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That can be a good middle of the lineup and probably a good sign for the Diamondbacks moving forward. I don't see them competing as much this next season, but maybe a couple years down the road it could help them out.
Well, they got a new manager coming in, so we'll see how that goes. And I know La Russa and Dave Stewart are the new people in the front office, and they're trying to make a lot of moves. They did trade for Jeremy Hellickson, which helps that rotation a lot. Patrick Corbin's coming back. That's the ace.
That's right. Coming back from
so it'll be Corbin and Hellickson, and then whoever's a 3, 4, and 5. They just want to eat innings and save the bullpen, and hopefully the offense can give them some runs. Montero, if he stays, that can also help with Goldschmidt, Tomas, and Trumbull.
Yeah.
Montero, I don't think they should trade him.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of rumors, a lot of trade rumors, but he's played a lot of innings back, in the catcher position, and it's really worn out his body pretty much, I guess you can say.
He can take it though.
Yeah, he sure can. All right, so moving on to point number 3, the Kung Fu Panda and Hanley Ramirez signing with the Boston Red Sox. Now the Red Sox, after winning their championship a couple years ago, they go from that to last place. Do you think the Red Sox are immediate contenders with these signings?
I wouldn't say contenders. The Blue Jays are looking good in the AL East.
Maybe the Orioles still?
Orioles, I'd pick the Red Sox over the Orioles at this point with that rotation of the Red Sox. But they are moving Hanley to left field. That's rumor, so that you don't know if Cespedes is on the move next or not. Panda's going to third, so Middlebrooks is out. Could be possible DH, but even though Alan Craig's there. All I know is that they have a lot of position players on the bench, but that's always a good problem to have for injuries because they still have Alan Craig, who can play left, right, and first, and DH. Big Papi's usually the DH. They have Napoli, who can also play first and DH.
Yeah, the interesting part about this is that all of a sudden it seems like they have too many players. There might be a Cespedes trade in the making. I'm not quite sure it will happen. But if they can keep that core, it's going to be a really scary lineup as well. You got Sandoval, you got Hanley Ramirez, you got Cespedes, you got David Ortiz, Pedroia.
Mike Napoli. Who else you got over there? You got Victorino,
that's
Jackie
right.
Bradley Jr. Who should be traded? Cespedes can play killer center field with that cannon arm he has.
Do you think shortstop / third baseman Sander Bogas will get moved or not?
I do believe he will get moved because Hanley, he's a liability at shortstop, but that's where he's comfortable. He said he would change positions, but at the Green Monster, he's going to have a lot to deal with in left field. I don't know if his arm's up to par there, and he's always injured.
Yes. I mean, left field, you think of left field, it's not a premier defensive position. I mean, you got guys like Matt Holliday playing left field. Even in Boston, we had Manny Ramirez playing many years left field that is much smaller than regular ballparks. We'll see. I think Hanley might be able to, do a good enough job where his bat can provide more offense than his defensive liability. But it'll be interesting to see if he goes there. And as for Bogarts, the kid's a great talent. I wouldn't be too sure if the Red Sox would move him.
John Farrell's one of the best managers in the AL. He can handle this with no problem. He'll figure everything out. A lot of players can get rest. Red Sox are just in it to win it again.
That's right. All right, and remember that this podcast is brought to you by Custom Bobbleheads. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. That is Custom with a Z. These bobbleheads are really cool looking. Have you seen the pictures of these bobbleheads back?
I have.
Yeah, good stuff on their social media sites. Go take a look. They can transform your bobbleheads. Any custom order you want to do, he is great at making these bobbleheads. All right, moving on forward. Jeff Samardzija rumors, trade rumors. Where do you think Samardzija will get traded if he gets traded?
I keep hearing the White Sox, but they have really no prospects. All they have is
Alexi Ramirez.
Yeah, Alexi Ramirez.
The name being
Drew blank there.
Shortstop Alexi Ramirez is the one that's being rumored the most right now.
They have Connor Gillespie at third. He's not a bad talent.
Mm-hmm.
They just signed LaRoche.
Adam LaRoche, that's right.
They have Adam Eaton over in center, but I don't know what kind of prospects they have down below.
Yeah.
Chris Sale's going nowhere.
I've heard that they don't have enough prospects. They don't have the farm system to bring in Samardzija, so Alexi Ramirez would be the big piece in the deal if it happens. The Braves have been also a rumored team to be talking and being involved in trade talks with the Athletics. But Samardzija has 1 year left in his contract. I don't think the Braves would trade for Samardzija unless he signs long term, especially considering that the Braves would have to give up Justin Upton or Evan Gattis or maybe both in a trade.
I think that's the most idealistic situation. Even though they lose either Upton or Gattis, I think they'll lose Gattis more because Upton, they can bring back more for Upton. Gattis is a great hitting catcher, but his defense isn't up to par like Derek Norris over in Oakland. Upton for Samardzija, that's just the Braves are losing too much right there.
It's basically a 1 year rental for another 1 year rental, and I don't think it's what the Braves really need right now. They need, moving on to their new stadium in 2017, they're going to need some younger pitching, maybe team control pitching, have more years in the contract.
I believe the A's should keep Samardzija, though, because they will most likely lose John Lester. They are bringing back A.J. Griffin and Jared Parker. They're bringing both them back from Tommy John surgery. So even if they do lose Samardzija, they have reassurance in those other two. But Samardzija would be their stone-cold ace pitcher there. He looked good for them as a rental player with Jason Hamill trade from the Cubs. Samardzija, I'm sure he will get a $100 million contract somewhere. I personally don't think he's worth that much. He hasn't proven enough. But I think the best situation for him is to stay with the A's and help with the rebuilding era that Billy Beane's going through.
Any chance Sonny Gray gets traded to the Braves? I've heard some rumors as well.
No way. No. There's no possible way.
No possible way.
No.
Good young talent. That's what they want. I don't think the Athletics.
Sonny Gray, Jared Parker, and AJ Griffin. Those would be the 3 young pitchers they would have in their future.
That's a good rotation. That's a good.
With Jesse Chavez, Jesse Chavez coming in. They have Pomerantz, who's really a lefty who gets beat around and has an occasional good game.
All right, moving on. So to close the first MLB podcast in the AOSN's history, who do you think is next to sign? Big free agent signing. Who will fall next?
James Big Game Shields.
James Shields. Who do you think he will sign with?
I personally think he will sign with the Chicago Cubs. John Madden's over there managing now. He played with him with the Rays. He's an innings eater. This guy can pitch any game. He can go out there 5 times in a row every time he pitches and go full 9 innings. His strikeout rate has gone down a little bit, but that helps his pitch count. He's one of the most reliable pitchers in the whole MLB. His fastball can reach up to about 95, 94 consistently, but his strikeout pitch is that dirty changeup of his. Look what he did with the Royals this year. Yeah, he struggled in the postseason, but look what Kershaw did. He struggled as well, and he still won the MVP and Cy Young. James Shields is just one of the most reliable pitchers. If I had a ball club, I'd try to sign him in a heartbeat. Maybe he's worth $100 million, maybe not. I think he'll get about a 5-year, $80 million contract. The Cubs could use him. They have a lot of talent coming up. Madden's going to just plug them each in like he did with the Rays and just bring them back up. Chicago's on the rise, and if they get James Shields, it's just no looking back from there. A lot of other free agents can sign there.
Yeah, he can really help that Cubs ball club. My pick is another guy that's been rumored to be considering the Cubs is John Lester, the left-handed pitcher, coming off of a really good year after being traded by the Boston Red Sox to the Oakland Athletics. Everybody remembers that finish by the Athletics. The Cespedes trade, kind of everything went down from there. He pitched in the wild card game. Looked like he had a comfortable lead. The Royals come back in a miracle game. But Lester's been involved with the Cubs, but I think he might go back to Boston. It's been said that he loves Boston. He loves the team. It would be amazing to see him go back there again. Contract maybe $100 million plus, 6+ years.
Easily.
Yeah, easily. Just a horse, a rotation horse, instant ace. Boston. I think he goes back to Boston. It makes so much sense that James Shields goes to the Cubs. I don't think they can afford both of them. I would have said Cubs, but Boston seems the strong suit for me.
They keep saying Lester's going to get a hometown discount, but he's done so much for them. I don't think he deserves one. He should get a 6-year, $120, $130 million contract. No hesitation. Red Sox need to give it to him. If he goes back, I mean, they win that trade with the A's then because they get back Lester and keep Cespedes. Cespedes did end the season with 100 RBIs. He had a great season. Mm-hmm. And if once James Shields gets traded, if he becomes first or John Lester, then the hot stove's just going to heat up from there. Scherzer will most likely go last and ask for the most dollars. Shamarza's a trade bait, so he may even go right before Scherzer since teams need a pitcher and the A's can ask for a big return.
That's correct, yeah. Still so many free agent pitchers still remaining. Ervin Santana, Justin Masterson, etc., etc. So it's going to be interesting to see who falls first because it sets the table for the amount of money that they're going to pay the big name pitchers.
We can't forget about the pitcher in Japan. I'm trying to blank on his name, but I know he shut down.
Maeda, I believe so.
I know he shut down the Team USA when they went to Japan for that 5-game series.
That's right. Yeah,
he's a really sought-after pitcher.
Kenta Maeda is his name.
Maeda. He's a little guy.
Yeah, 2003 agent. Yeah,
but I mean, look what the Japan has brought over. Like Cuba, they have
Masahiro Tanaka.
Yeah, they had Matsuzaka for Matsuzaka, correct?
Yeah, Daisuke.
Daisuke was first. He had that gyro ball.
Yep.
And then came over Yu Darvish, who has just been one of the best pitchers in all of baseball.
And you can't forget about
Tanaka.
Even though he comes from Korea, Hyun Ryu from the Dodgers, another Asian pitcher, coming and making a big impact. He's been a good 3 starter for the Dodgers behind Kershaw and Greinke.
They're all reliable pitchers. Maeda may ask for a lot of dollars. Darvish didn't. He got about $10 million a year. He didn't get anything too crazy. Maeda may be like a Tanaka and ask for something insane, but Tanaka paid off for the Yankees. Even though he got hurt, he didn't get surgery, which helps out a lot. But Maeda may be one of the next free agents to sign.
Very good, yeah. He sure is. All right. Any final comments, Beck, after this awesome first podcast for us?
I just wish the A's would have kept Josh Donaldson.
Oh, man. A lot of A's fans wish they would have kept him. I've seen and talked to
first Cespedes and then Donaldson.
Yes. Kind of burning the house down, it seems, down there. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we hope to have you again soon. Goodbye.